Yes. We're hitting not even worried about max pain. We're hitting the lowest possible price to fulfill the highest potential gain for market makers on the options chain of both stocks, which is 1550 on AMC and a buck 50 on Highcroft. Even lower, even worse than I predicted. Unless some whale comes in the next 10 minutes and just blows it out. Let's see.
You want to know what I did today?
Yes. Fuck yes.
Awesome.
Yay.
Fuck yeah.
Making
Ooh.
a- I'm just-
Aw.
Yeah. Work.
That's awesome.
Finally getting the frosting out. Just butter. Butter.
Made me hungry.
Really all it is.
Sounds delicious.
Also very
That makes the best cakes.
yeah. Oh, and yeah, right now. Yeah.
You know what he probably has diarrhea from?
I have no idea.
Probably buying call options and or making plays into Mullen.
Oh, okay.
That's what gives you diarrhea.
That's what the bet's gonna say. Yeah, okay.
It gives you diarrhea of the butt and of the mouth.
Right.
It's
It's actually
bets.
not vomiting, so that's good. It's just diarrhea, but
Yeah, that's not good. Hey Spence,
Yeah.
I didn't watch Trey's video. I just been with what you were saying on your post there, but like what's going on with that there? What
He found a study, I forgot the name of the people who did this 2-year study, showing basically how market makers are taking advantage of retail mostly through the options chain. He watches my shit and then flips his stance and uses my content, which is great. I'm glad he's doing it. It's been noticeable for the past 4 months, and he definitely comes to our space calls. But he literally went in to explain how retail traders who like to play short-term options to flip money daily are losing more money than anybody else in the market. He went into the hedging aspect a little bit. They're saying if you don't hedge, this is how you lose money in the options chain. But the problem is, even if you do that, you're still most of the time betting against AMC. It's just payment for order flow. It's why it's illegal in Germany, the UK, Australia, and Canada. Fucking crazy, man. We went from do this hedge strategy with buying puts and this and that to, oh, hey, by the way, market makers are completely taking advantage of retail through the options chain.
they totally are. I don't know why people keep on buying options. I just stay away from it, I just don't get it. You're just giving, unless you want to give your money away. It's like, going to a casino and writing a check to the casino. Like, why would you do that?
There's people playing options that know how to do it, that have AMC, and I'm never going to dissuade you from doing it or whatever. And
right. You're talking about the average ape.
And I'm not even trying to castrate
Right.
anybody for doing it. But the truth of the fact is, you are contributing to the downward price action of AMC. No matter what, it's just a fact. The payment for order flow system is designed to A, steal premiums, B, be a market maker strategy to understand exactly who and what is trading where and why, and C, to give them ultimate power to decide what the price is going to be every Friday. People were talking Max Payne this week on AMC and whatnot. And I posted multiple times. I said AMC 1550, Highcroft 150. And look at where we're going to, unless a whale jumps in the next, what time is it? However many minutes, all the calls, even the ones that I thought weren't worth their time, that was really small open interest on like a buck. Well, not a buck, but anything below a buck 50, they're all blown out. They're gone. Premium's gone. stock's down in price, shareholders are hurting from it, and you contributed to payment for order flow. So now the brokers just got paid for you engaging in that. It's, oh my God, fucking crazy, man. And then people DMing me, hey, you gonna get into Mullen today? Has anybody seen a Mullen car driven by a human freaking person, even in a video? Not only that, I haven't been here talking about AMC and T0 with the security dividend that could have blew AMC to the fucking moon, and Highcroft for 9 months to have people in my DMs going, hey, you should get into Roblox. Fuck off, man.
It's so annoying. It really is. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you can tell them to fuck off, but I mean, they can do whatever they want, you know, and say whatever they want on Twitter.
Well,
you know, it's a free country, but I see it's annoying. It is.
It's dumb. We've won.
Yeah, right. It's dumb.
We've won. There's hedge fund dudes going to prison. They're rolling on each other. Their liquidity's been all but almost dried up completely. The market's crashing, which is very much in our favor. Netflix is down. Facebook is down. Everything's down that the hedgies were long on, and half of them were scams. They're about to go bust in a big way, and they're going to have to cover their AMC shorts. And I see the entire community running off to all these other plays at the finish line. We're about to fucking win this. It's crazy. Excuse my language. I hate seeing people give up right before they're about to freaking win.
And Spencer, I'm not sure, did you ever look into a Sousa Holdings in Mullen? And their debt obligation deal with Mullen?
I did check into it a little bit, and I'm getting other reports that Mullen is really just Chinese EVs wrapped up with a US logo on them. Is that true?
I stopped looking into it after I found out about Sousa Holdings. So they can just perpetually ask for 9.99% of the free float and force the company to issue more shares. And they're not supposed to go over a certain percentage of the company, but they have 6 or 7 different holding companies. They're splinter groups of their own company, and they transfer shares to those holding companies and then ask for another 9.99.
That's crazy.
Then transfer them again, ask for another 9.99, transfer them to another subsidiary, ask for another 9.99, and they just perpetually dilute and fuck up the stock.
That's knuckin' futz, man. That's wild. You know what blows my mind about it too is a lot of apes went and they've been screaming, I'm an ape, I'm a true ape, I'm an 801 ape, blah blah blah. And they bashed Jen and Tara and Mark and Paul and everybody and Swing and me in this group for 6 months, and now they're off running around with BBIG, Mullen, and Ader in their fucking titles. It's crazy, man. And you know what the worst part is? AMC is $15 a share right now. The stock should be at $30 a share just based on its fundamentals. And people are running off to other plays. I don't know, man.
There's no reason the stock should be less than the movie ticket, which is where it's at. So why are people buying options versus buy a movie ticket? Hell, one option contract, you can buy a family of 4 plus popcorn and sodas for the price of most option contracts, unless you're buying like.
You are so right, Swing. Instead of buying options, take your family out to watch a movie every couple of weeks or something.
Me and Taylor are going to see The Bad Guys Saturday. We're going to go see The Bad Guys and protest against the AMC fraud token, the poop coin.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to go out to the movies this weekend. We can't. It's Anya's birthday weekend. We got a lot of stuff we got to do around the house and prepare food and stuff for parties on Sunday. But otherwise we go to the movies and all. But yeah, I feel bad. I want to participate, but
even if you just run by your AMC to buy a bag of popcorn on the 30th, literally, just, they did these, NFTs got brought up huge today. Right when we were talking about it on Ape Radio, NFTs were all over the place this morning. I'll be damned if Adam Aaron isn't getting ready to do this NFT sale plan. I hope he does. Because a direct injection of cash into AMC in the month of May, right when hedges are at their worst, would be absolutely phenomenal. Oosa.
You okay there, Spence?
I'm fucking irritated today, man. I've got so much crap in my DMs about other plays from people saying they're apes and they're AMC and this and that, and I'm blown away. Not to mention, again, I'm sitting here watching the price action. We're getting ready to close below 14.50, and HYMC is way below $1.50. So all them calls are blown out, every single one of them. And somebody came in and tried to tell me, well, options is mainly just big players and it's not retail. No. The reason that Citadel pays for payment for order flow for options flow is because of retail. They want the retail money. They're not going to pay for payment for order flow from another market maker or Susquehanna or another. They're not getting BlackRock's payment for order flow. You know what I mean? It's retail. They're robbing us blind, and people keep engaging in it.
Gee, I didn't check the indexes today. I just saw the Nasdaq's down another 4%.
Yep. This is a bold prediction from me, and don't use this to make your investment strategy at all. But AMC's dropping. I'm on a minute chart. I think the IWM, I think all the indexes are going to correct to the peak right before COVID hit. The IWM is going to hit $166 because everything after COVID was nothing but inflated money coming from stimulus. Right? I think they've burned through it, and all these fraud companies, like Carvana or Caravan, whatever it's called. $333 down to $59. All that money's gone. It's crazy.
I mean, there's just no price discovery anymore. There's no individual stock picking where you dig deep into a company. Like anybody that dug deep into Carvana would have realized there was some shady shit. It's just we pump everything together and we dump everything together. It's ridiculous. All this easy money, it's just infuriating. The leverage is ridiculous.
The bad thing is the big hedge fund companies, when they run a pump and dump or they're part of it, they don't take their money and put it back into the market. They take their cash and they put it into other stuff like Cayman Islands, coke and hookers. Like some dude just got arrested in the Virgin Islands, apparently some hedge fund manager. They take their money and they run with it.
Or they short the yen when the government promises to buy all bonds at 25. I mean, that's one thing. All the complaining that, just to put some light at the end of the tunnel, at least our currency will lose 2% in this week. I think that's crazy to think about.
And people are always look at modern art and they're like, what? That's worth 50, 60 million. What? No way. I don't understand modern art. You do realize like 99% of modern art, well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but a large amount of modern art is a tax deduction scheme and a tax avoidance scam.
It becomes worth what they say it is because they paid it. So now it's in their benefit to have it valued at that on the open market after they took their tax deduction. I've seen some artwork people paid some money for that I'm just, hey, you spend your money on what you want and you like what you want, but you're telling me Hunter Biden's painting was worth $500,000? You're literally smoking Parmesan crack. That's what you're doing. That was nothing but a payoff through an art sale. Just crazy, man. The fraud is so bad. And then we have a space call with a senator candidate in the U.S. the midterm election for Illinois vocally against Ken Griffin, saying Ken Griffin is buying the next mayor or the next governor of Illinois for Ken Griffin, and people are more worried about legalizing fucking weed federally
Right.
than going after Griffin.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. This community's got so distracted and so off the true path. It's nuts. Adam Aaron literally led us to the watering hole with Highcroft. I mean, gold and silver are being suppressed so bad right now. Both charts over a long time frame are extremely bullish. I'm talking $2,500 plus an ounce for gold and 40 or more, way more for silver. And the demand is doing nothing but going up. How does the price go from $300 to over 2,000 in a period of 20 years on demand scale for it? And then in the past 10 years, it's been more or less stale. It dipped, it went high, dipped, and came back up. But with the way the economy is right now, the value of gold and silver, not just for hedging, but the demand for semiconductors and aviation and everything else going on is going absolutely crazy. So
it's just known that JP Morgan manipulates silver in particular. I mean, if you have a contract that you own this silver and it's a digital contract, if you were to claim that and wanted to deliver, there's 20 other people have that claim as well. That's why I love those guys from Wall Street Silver. They literally just, for the last 2 years, there's 100,000 of them. They just buy as much physical silver as possible. They're similar enough to us, but they just buy shit tons of physical silver. They're crazy.
They know it's going to go up. The price of silver is extremely undervalued. And people got to keep in mind, when Highcroft was operating as Allied Nevada back in the day, they weren't even really looking for silver because the price was only $16 an ounce. It's not worth doing it at that price. They said there's a 40% undervaluation in the silver assets in the mine. And I'm telling you, Diane Garrett, just the confidence of that woman blows me away. She knows what she's doing. Speaking of that, let me go to NASDAQ. The market just closed. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Guess what happened? All the $15.50 call options got blown out. Oh, Highcroft too. All the $1.50 call options got blown out. Who could have guessed that?
Hmm.
Freaking crazy, man. They literally manipulated the price of AMC, HYMC. I don't know what the GME max pain was, but I'm guessing they didn't hit either. They run the market based on the flow of the options chains on meme stocks to benefit their liquidity grabs every freaking week. And then if you're buying puts to hedge, you're betting on the downside. If you're selling cover calls, you're also contributing to downside. Even if you sell puts, which is bullish, right? You're still contributing to payment for order flow, which gives Citadel the advantage over the whole market and Susquehanna and Virtue. Even if I did a poll and asked who bought call options this week for these stocks, I don't think people would be honest about it because they just got blown out. Let's see, 29th. Let me check them all. All of the monies. Oh, that's 22nd. Here we go. 29th. They played it it's so freaking wild, man. 1550, 3,126, Let me see. What was the volume? 12,000 open interest, 3126. They took it down as far as they can to make the most money for the value of how many options they were going to have to play with. $15 was 2,734. It wasn't worth it to them. So let's see here. 6, 7, 10, 20, 32, 50, almost 100,000 call options got out of the money today on AMC. All those premiums gone. Imagine if people would have went in and just bought stock. And then people DMing me about Mullen and Redbox. Redbox is running. Good for you.
Redbox, that's the company that like sells DVDs.
How are they even running besides it's just a pump and dump, which somebody is going to get left as the bag holder? The red boxes I see that are still around are covered in graffiti and have a weird like flap over the screen, and they're filthy and it's weird. It's crazy, man. All right, I'm done yelling.
I didn't know those things were still around, honestly. Sorry, I'm like trying to smooth on his cake for a birthday, so it's fine. It takes a lot of work, guys. I swear to God. Like, and I hate making cakes. Hate it.
Well,
it's
you're
a
a
lot of
good
work.
mom, Jen.
Yeah, I am. So, and I want it to look really nice and everything. So, because it's their birthday and all. So, yeah, I'll take a picture of it when I'm done, and I'll put it on Twitter. So.
There's some good news though. The 10K that just got released had a lot of information in it this community's needed for a long time. It talks about all the bonds, all the debt covenants. From what I read, Silver Lake owns a 2026 that's restricting dividends. So all that information's out there in the 10K, and they even put in it beginning 2022. They're going to start selling the popcorn in the kiosks at the counters at the stores and the malls. They're supposed to start delivery, and they're also supposed to start retail popcorn in grocery stores at the end of 2022. So I'm guessing Adam Aaron's going to come out with an announcement either this earnings call or next earnings call on it. But they've got to get started soon if they're going to capitalize on this. Anyways, so who else had what going on? Anybody know anything new about AMC or Highcroft or GameStop? We have all the catalysts lined up for an absolutely stellar 2022, or what Trey would call the basket theory of GameStop, Bloodbath and Beyond, Highcroft, and AMC, for one of these stocks to catalyst so hard that it squeezes the others. These hedge funds are in the dirt, man. They're hurting. We have all the catalysts and all the power. What's up, Jay Brett?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know who all was watching The Spy today, but it was a bloodbath across the markets, right? And The Spy took a big dump, and it was trading close to the lows for the week. Like, there's really not much support in The Spy. If you go back to, if you go past February 24th, which is the low that we were testing at the end of the market day today, the next place where we're that low is back in May 19th of 2021. So we're, and next week, I know it's kind of bouncing in after hours, but I think that's just people covering their positions that were short or whatever, like taking profits where they can. And I think what we're about to see here is going to be a bloodbath next week. I mean, there's going to be a lot of volatility, but I think at the end of the week, we'll probably see something similar to what we did today, where we had, like, if you would, I'm not saying that you should play options. I'm saying, like, if you were playing SPY puts and you were looking at the expire for next week, that jumped in value today alone by like 125%. It's nuts. Like, the amount of movement in these. Oh no, I'm sorry. It ended the day at 107%. 107% in one day on an options contract. Like, that kind of volatility is, I mean, it's a little more seen in options, but I mean, that's an insane amount of volatility for one day. To see that kind of a movement, like, I don't know if people are kind of like grasping how big of a deal that is, but it's something to be aware of, right? Because the futures markets, like the SPY future or S&P 500 futures, those also are big market drivers. So they help you to understand where the direction of the market's going to head, as well as looking at the AMC options chains to see, like, this is where they're going to try and put it. And I think, you're right on, Spence. Like, you pull all of that activity out of the options chain and out of AMC, GameStop, HYMC, etc., and you'll start to see that, like, they wouldn't really have much of a direction to go. So yeah, it's
they'd be betting
these
against
are
themselves.
crazy times. Mm-hmm.
Just go for it. I'm enraged today. I don't even feel like calling hands, man. Just talk.
Yeah. Oh, Spence. I guess good news. I don't know if anyone invested in GameStop, and if you are, you probably received an email regarding their annual meeting in like a month from now. So basically, be ready for that for the stock split dividend. So I'm excited for that.
Great news for everybody playing any ape stock.
The important thing about that is everybody remember to vote.
We can't hear you, Swing.
I was saying, everybody vote. You got to use your power and vote, so that all that, every single vote that possibly can, because that's one thing that, if everyone votes, that in itself can put pressure, I think, on the stock, and that's just more and more reporting that, everybody that doesn't vote, that makes it easier for the brokers to cover up over votes. If everybody votes, that's when they have to either, one, start doing fuckery, or two, start buying the stock in. So the more and more people vote, the easier time it will be on the stock. And also, what can happen hypothetically, I was on a call yesterday with some GME people, hypothetically, if they got enough votes in early, they could actually call the election at the meeting or even before the meeting and say, hey, we've actually got enough votes where the stock split's on, or whatever that might look like. So we know Ryan will keep things close to his chest until the time is right. But, the faster we get those results in, the faster they know the results of the election.
Do you know the exact topic name for that vote? Like, when you go under and you see you're voting for whoever and whatever, what will that topic actually be written as?
I would have to go back and look, but I mean, basically the only things that are voting on are the directors themselves, the compensation plan, the who the auditor is, and then the very last one on the ballot is the stock split.
Awesome. I cannot wait to hear the news for that, man.
So, and a lot of brokers sent out their information yesterday from the call that I was on. As far as I know that I got mine from Charles Schwab yesterday. And other people were talking about getting their Fidelity yesterday or the day before, depending on which type of account they had and stuff like that. So I think pretty much all the brokers got their information out. So if you haven't received it yet, go pressure your brokers.
Awesome.
And same with Highcroft too, as far as that goes. Highcroft has their vote out, and if you owned, I don't know what the date was for the cutoff date for the Highcroft, but if you have stock, you should have received a vote proxy for that, because they actually have their dates the same day, June 2nd. So
I'll tell you on that, I did a lot of DD in who we were voting for, because I seen a ton of people in the RHYMC group just going, yeah, I voted yes. What? I don't know. For who? I don't know. I know Diane Garrett was in there. I'm like, dude, I literally found a guy who used to work for Bear Stearns, Deutsche, and Morgan in 2007, is a director there. Thomas Wang has a bachelor's of arts in economics and has been working for all these companies since 2007, bouncing back and forth, back and forth. His turnover on where he worked is almost yearly. And they want him to have all these board seats in a chair for compensation and all these other responsibilities. And I was like, what? Why is this guy here? Who is he? Why is he here? And why has he done so many different jobs in the past 20 years, especially during market crash situations? I would think somebody dealing with the financials and the compensation plans in companies like this would probably have more than a bachelor's of arts in economics. Maybe, I don't know. It was really suspicious to me, so I voted no for him. And then he doesn't have a LinkedIn. The only history you can get on him is from the past companies he's worked for, or that he's still a board member on. So it was super sus to me. That's the only one I found. And I'll tell you, last time I said something like this, it was on Stephen Colanero. And besides you guys, my friends, people gave me some shit over it because I was going after an AMC board member and they didn't like it. And then lo and behold, dude gets freaking canned at the last earnings call, retired. That was the most unsincere retirement announcement I've ever heard in my life. So, guys, definitely read the information, because I guarantee you Stephen Colanero was the one. He was an insider trying to blow the company apart like he did Radio Shack and Blockbuster. I don't have enough mics to drop today. Yes. So
I'm wondering, this is totally off topic. I'm wondering if I should top this cake with maybe like ganache or something. That'd be cool.
Spray AMC the moon on it.
Yeah. Yeah, ganache. That might be fun looking. Yeah. Gotta think about that some more. Sorry,
You
guys.
better write a name on it. So, this entire past 2 weeks, let's recap. We were telling people to stop buying options. No options May, right? So we're coming up into May. This week, all the call options worth anything on HYMC and AMC got blown out again. All those premiums are gone. We got major arrests going on Wall Street. Archegos, Wang, whatever his name is, his buddies, and some other guys from another fund. I forgot the name of this other fund. They arrested this guy. But Deutsche is now under investigation for money laundering. They're blowing these dudes on Wall Street apart. Everybody's rolling on each other. We have that working for us. They have lost so much liquidity in the past 3 months on Netflix, Facebook, Affirm, Carvana, whatever else you can think of. They're in the dirt, man. Like, hardcore. The only thing Ken Griffin is betting on is getting a governor in Chicago in 2022, or whenever the election is, this November.
Out of curiosity, is anybody short Carvana?
I think maybe a guy up top
I
that just
am.
came in is.
I'm short Carvana.
bingo.
I'm doing pretty well in my Carvana position. I listened to Henry back last year early, and it was painful for a while, but yeah, Carvana's on their way to the toilet where they belong.
At high speed too.
Yep.
The other thing about Robinhood going down the drain is it affects Citadel the most.
It's true.
That's very true.
I mean, that guy has, given his leverage, he has serious liquidity issues, Kenny G. So,
Yep.
dangerous time. Dangerous time to be with the wrong crowd.
And who
Indeed.
was the main? Was Archegos? Were they the ones pushing Carvana for a while there, or what?
You know, those guys pretty much tried to corner the market in 10 stocks. I mean, that's one of the tiger cubs. That's why
They
I
were
have
in-
a huge problem. That's why I have such a huge problem with those guys. Is they're all in the same trade. I mean, we talked about this last, I don't know, November, December. All these clowns are in the same damn trade, and now they have the luxury of reporting their April numbers, which are dreadful. So I think all these guys are truly going to get what they deserve. I mean, I can't stand any of them. So I think the world will be better if some of these guys no longer can screw around.
Yep. I'm waiting to see the first news article of the first person who jumps off their building, literally at this point. I hate saying it, but take the coward's way out after you blow the market up in fraud. It's crazy, man. And nothing the Fed is doing is working whatsoever.
Well, what's really interesting is, there's a lot of interesting things going on. But one thing I found interesting this week was around all the earnings from all the tech companies and how the after hours markets reacted, and then the opening. Right? It was really strange because first of all, people had really, really overblown reactions in a positive way for Facebook, which I think Facebook is an absolute garbage company. And if we show another quarter of GDP loss, that means we're officially in a recession. And if we're in a recession at Facebook's entire revenue stream is like 97% of it comes from ad revenues. And the first thing that small medium businesses cut from their budgets is ad revenues. So it's going to decimate Facebook's earnings. It's going to decimate their revenues, and they played that off. And then they've also played off the antitrust suit that's open against them.
Yep.
They've also played off, like, you keep going down the list of all the bullshit that they've done. And what's crazy is that they jumped over $20 in after hours, and now they're sliding back down again. So that happened, and then some, Amazon didn't have great reporting earnings either, so they slid, and those two, and I think also Apple didn't have a great report either. So all of those were sliding hard, which led to this big slide. But, to go back to the Tiger Cubs thing that Mark talks about, all of those Tiger Cubs are long, all those companies, like massively long. So they're all getting wrecked right now.
People, the consumer isn't worried about a new iPhone right now. They're worried about putting freaking gas in their car, man.
Well, the thing is, like, iOS or Apple phone sales is not the entire business.
Right.
It's part of the business. I mean, they've got a lot from their services side of things. They've got Apple TV Plus. They've got streaming TV and videos. They've got iTunes revenues. They've got, revenues off of their other hardware products, but they also get money off of iCloud, which, even though it's, a fairly small portion of what people spend, it's a very consistent part of what people spend now because they've really pushed customers that direction.
These overinflated earnings from the pandemic due to the government forcing money into the system like never seen before to the consumer It had such a bad effect because when that happens, these hedge funds and everybody we've been talking about, the banks, the hedge funds, whoever, they see these companies making that money. They go into the market trying to manipulate whatever they can. And all the money the government gave us to buy products that went into these companies is being sucked out of the economy by these big funds. It's absolutely crazy that this is allowed to happen at this level. Now, people are going to lose their 401ks. Their retirements are already in the dirt. But I have a very bad prediction that we haven't even seen the start of the crash yet. I think we need to go back.
Yeah.
We need to go back to pre-pandemic highs before the crash.
Oh, for sure. I 100% agree with you. In fact, I think it's going to go much lower than that. And like that's me being, mega bear. But I was on a Spaces call during trading hours earlier, and it sounded like there's other people who are saying, S&P 500 like 4,100 or 4,150, or no, I'm sorry, 1,500. Somebody was saying, I think is what it was. So I mean, like you're seeing a lot of people hitting a very bearish stance right now on the entire broad markets. And I think people are not buying into things like Fed rate hikes and QT and all this other stuff going on at the government level. So I think it's just going to get worse from here for a long while. Somebody posited that around August we'll start to see a rebound due to the midterms and them trying to make things look good for the midterms. But I'm not even sure that's going to happen.
I think they're going to let it blow out during midterms. And I hate to say, I'm looking at the IWM right now since 11/2020, how it just skyrocketed to all new times highs, and now we've broke down past any level of support. 166 looks like we need to go back to 166 or 164 to make any logical sense. The problem is these guys have shorted the shit out of IWM, and they think that's what contributed to the bloodbath and beyond in AMC pump on March 29th. I think somebody covered their Russell 2000 shorts, and Citadel came back in and ate it up so that the stock went back down to manageable levels. 1298 to 34 in a 2-month period, and then back down to 1550. What the fuck? Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
It's just when Jay Brett was talking, I was legit just wanted to say, like, if you just compare the levels of leverage by banks and hedge funds compared to 0809, it makes 0809 look like a joke. Yeah. That's pretty much all I was going to say.
I 100% agree with you on that. I had not talked about the leverage recently. I've harped on leverage I don't know how many times. Leverage it's a huge problem. I mean, if you're like me and you like to study the 1929 stock market crash, there were several key factors that led to that. One of the biggest ones, of course, was the bank runs, because people didn't trust that the money in the bank was going to be good. The second thing that blew up the markets was 10-to-1 leverage. That's all it took. 10-to-1 leverage, and people collateralizing with their homes. So just sit, let that marinate, and realize that markets like Forex traditionally have traded at 50-to-1, and can trade 100-to-1.
TF Hatter on YouTube was just talking about seeing somebody on another YouTube channel saying there was a 40,000. Somebody bought 40,000 puts on the IWM today.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you, my plan, seriously, when the IWM just crashes, the whole market crashes, if AMC goes into the gutter, I'm going to buy every single freaking share that I can possibly afford in that time frame. Because with all the short interest on the IWM and on AMC and GME and all the other ape stocks, when this thing recovers, we've been right about everything so far. And I think the next step is freaking MOAS, man. We've predicted every single step of what's happened in the market so far. So the only logical conclusion for me is the next step is this squeeze. I'm not gonna miss it because I see, just like January 28th, everybody panic sold and went down to $5, and then we ended up running to 71 months later. It's coming again. They're getting ready to do it.
And when it happens, I'm ready and waiting with more liquidity to pick up more shares. I picked up 10 shares of GameStop today to help lower my cost basis. So.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the short-term price action at all whatsoever, because I'm not selling for 50%. I'm selling for 3,000 fucking percent. And then I'm buying back in to support the company the rest of my life. If, well, I got my DRS shares, so I won't even touch them. But it's coming. You know, everybody's blocking Gasparino now. We got hedge fund dudes being arrested for fraud, multi-billion-dollar frauds. Ken Griffin's trying to buy a governor. He's trying to buy midterms. It's all lining up extremely perfect. And I think the next step is they blow the market out. Midterms are over. They blow the market out. They blame whoever wins. The DOJ keeps making arrests. They blame the struggling economy on the past admin or the current admin. The taxpayers lose all their 401ks and their retirements, and we got to start all over again. But everybody here is prepared and ready, especially the apes. So when this shit happens, don't panic when you see AMC. If it does happen, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you see AMC go sub $12 on a market crash, that's when I'm going to buy the living freaking hell out of it.
Yeah, going back to DOJ, the whole thing with Archegos, the fact that he's let out on bail, I think he's definitely talking and cooperating with the DOJ.
Oh, yeah.
So to add to all of this other stuff too, right? I think that there is a silver lining to a crash, particularly since there's so many retail traders that have gotten in on this move that all want to do things to help fix the economy, fix the markets, etc. And I think that when it all happens and the squeeze happens, I think a lot of people are going to go right back and they're going to start supporting their economies. Mm-hmm. They're going to help the people who got blown out. And I think that the recovery will be a lot faster. And that's why I think it's absolutely ludicrous that the government has for so long not taken any action on any of this, because if any of them had half of a brain, they would realize that they would get an insane amount of tax revenue coming through with all the earnings from people that were smart enough to play the opposite side of the stupidity of these short and distort fuckers.
The current admin would not survive if they let the economy crash right now. If it crashes before midterms, the Democrats are going to be in deep shit for a long time. They need this to crash after midterms, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, but I also wonder if they had let it crash back. They're in a point of no return, right? They can't do it now. But if they had done it 6 months ago, I guarantee that they would have all gotten massively higher approval ratings. Yeah. And they probably would also not be in fear of losing their jobs right now.
I agree with that.
Because there would have been a huge bounce economically, there would have been a huge recovery, and then everybody would have been, well, this sucked, but now everybody's actually back and doing better. So they would turn around and be, not pissed off at the Democrats. So
it would have been good because they would have forced that money back into the consumer marketplace, and then they could have come out on top of that and said, we're going to do another EV run of credit credit deductions for your EVs if you buy them. They could have pushed the EV market through the roof and everybody would be driving electric vehicles already. The way to improve an economy truly is consumers buying. And it's super easy to do if the market works correctly. Because as of now, retail should have the majority of whatever money these hedge funds stole in 2008 up till now. We should have gotten paid out January 28th. We should have gotten paid out June 1st. And we should have got paid out on March 29th on that $34 run, and they keep robbing us. We can't hear you, Christy. Everybody sounds.
I'm having my connection keeps kind of cutting out. Twitter still has some issues. Hello, fellow.
When does it not?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I was just, I don't speak very much, but Spence, I appreciate what you've done with the political aspect and reaching out and getting movement going about all 50 states. I have a little bit of legal background. I used to work for McCain and my legal research. I was just going to say that, there's so many of us apes, I think way more than 4 million,
Oh, yeah.
but we all kind of come with certain quals that we were better at. So I know you guys were setting up a Google spreadsheet that, kind of lists wants and needs and maybe what can be done, maybe list by states. Since you have done some research, and I'm not asking to pass the buck, but would you be willing to share a little bit what you found on the Highcroft Mining Board? Was it Highcroft?
Yeah, the
Or
only
AMC?
thing that I found bad on the Highcroft Mining Board was Thomas Wang. He has hopped
Okay.
so many jobs since 2007 between different firms that were in deep, deep trouble in the 2008 financial crisis. And I'm talking
Okay.
Deutsche, Bear Stearns, Morgan. He works for other mining companies on their boards, and he has way too many seats and way too much power on the Highcroft board, only carrying a bachelor's of arts and economics to be doing what he's doing.
I just saw that.
And it's very, very
Okay.
suspicious. He doesn't even have a LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'll be voting no on that one, I think.
Vote
But,
on your own
you know,
accord.
No, on my own advice, but it's just, there's so much information, and I follow AMC and Highcroft, and those are the two I'm mainly, that's about 99%. But I just, there's so much information and trying to research it so we're not just blindly retweeting and everything. I get so overwhelmed, and my family, they fucking hate me right now. They're like, Mom, if you say another word about stocks, but I'm like, everything is about the flow of the money. I don't care if you're talking about your local school board. I mean, it talks about, I'm in Loudoun County, by the way, so most of you have heard it. We got a lot of shit going on here with our board of superintendents and rapes in schools and anything else. So I like to get connected with other people in Virginia. And I know you guys were kind of starting that. And I have some expertise, but I'm not good at other things, but I'm very good at, I look at the numbers. That's the only thing I care about. Follow the statistics.
It's super simple, you guys. Whatever state you're in, get on Twitter, just type out your state and say, hey, where's my Arizona apes at? And then in that conversation, just go, does anybody know a good politician that is in or running that's going to go after Wall Street corruption and Ken Griffin? But you have to set your personal politics aside. I don't care if you care about weed or beer or abortion or whatever it is. We're going after Wall Street corruption. It's the only way you can stay united. They want to push these other topics to spread you out over a multitude of different candidates, just like they do us in stocks. So link up individually with your state's apes. Try to find a candidate to support, get them on Twitter, talk to them. But as a whole, everybody should be looking at Illinois because Ken Griffin is literally about to buy a governorship.
I saw that. Well, in Virginia, I'm actually live in Virginia now. Arizona's my home state. But we have local elections coming up May 20th. And I will say I was a long life Republican. I am no longer voting by party. I will vote on issues. And now it's all about banning payment for order flow. Used to keep it simple. Banning payment for order flow, dark pool abuse, and market manipulation. But we really do, you're right. You have to kind of keep it narrow and just on that. And I'm not going to worry about what they might do over here or what they're doing over here. But for my vote this year, it is going to be on cleaning up the market because
Absolutely.
but we've got an election being held May 20th here. If there's other Virginia apes, love to get a spreadsheet going. I know I just don't have the time to kind of lead that one, but I'm happy to contribute if there's anyone
Well, I'll
in
tell
Virginia. But
you, go to the AMC Ideas rooms when you see it pop up. They are working on that diligently.
I will. Okay, I will. I saw that and I was going to listen. I just haven't had a chance yet, but appreciate it. I love the apes. I just can't wait for this to be over. Not to be over, but I have turned into a cynical bitch.
Well,
My kids can't stand me.
welcome
My husband, who is like, "Are you okay? Please don't talk about King Griffin anymore. Don't talk about the presidency. Don't talk about." I'm like, "But you guys, it's all connected."
it is. I've
They
become
hate
very
me.
sassy in my old age now. So
I was
I've been
already.
a half glass full kind of girl, and I am it's affected every part. I mean, I'm a teacher in I'm a teacher in Loudoun County, if anybody knows anything about that. And that's nuts. But yeah, I am just everything I look around, I'm like, well, where's the money go? Okay, tell me who's in charge of the money. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
I've been this cynical since 2012 or 2011. Just so that people are aware, I've been mega cynical of the markets and the government for that long.
Well, I can relate to The Big Short and how he's like, I just had to get out. The actor, he's like, it is so, and after all this, I mean, I will still be in the market, but I plan on using my money to help others. And buy a Tesla. Or a car. But that's all I had. Thank you.
I wanted to.
Hello? Okay.
Sorry, I had to go to the potty.
Okay. Yeah, I still have some problems with Twitter breaking up. At least my favorite hashtags are back. Ken Griffin lied, Citadel scandal. I haven't been seeing them pop up. I haven't seen anything pop up in the past 2 months.
A group of us started deleting our Twitter caches, and as soon as we did it, our feed turned straight back to AMC. Almost immediately.
Awesome. What do you mean Twitter caches?
So you go into your settings, right? And then you go under accessibility and you go to data, and you'll be able to delete out all the saved data that's been your media posts and all this stuff that they work these algorithms out over. It just clears all the data out of your Twitter app.
Okay.
We did it, and
I will look into that.
Like 7 of us immediately had AMC back in our feeds.
Well, I got on Twitter. I was 2016, but I didn't start getting involved until the pandemic hit, when I started getting involved in stocks and learned on Reddit and follow, And I will say I'm still scared to follow people, though, and I'm not about follow. I don't need a lot of followers and everything. I post little things I learn, but yeah, I think everyone at Apes we guys just stick together.
I want to clarify something too about what I said earlier. If the IWM does crash and AMC goes down with it, I'm not telling you by any means to sell your shares right now and buy back in. Let's get that perfectly clear. I'm saying prepare yourself if it dips that low, like I have. This is my personal investment decision to buy the shit out of it. Now, with that might not happen. The market might crash. The IWM and AMC and these stocks might go through the freaking roof because people got to cover their shorts. Say like Netflix and Facebook and all these just go in the absolute gutter, which they are. They might have to cover their shorts to balance their books and meet their margin requirements. So you might not get the dip buy. $15 for AMC is insane right now. It's crazy.
Oh, I keep buying.
Well, remember, we had the battle for 16 back last year as well. We had the battle for 8, the battle for 16. Looks like we're back in that range of battle for 16 again and battle for 20.
Yeah.
So I think the best way to put this, Spence, is that people should be holding some liquidity back. Keep some cash on hand. That doesn't mean sell shares. That means if you're profitable on some of your other trades, that like if you're
Go ahead.
if you're in a position that's like massively profitable and you decide to trim your position, that's not AMC or GameStop or HYMC or BBBY or whatever those, whatever the memes that you're in, whatever your core positions are. If you find you're in some of those side positions and they're making a good chunk of change, take money off the table, hold the liquidity, and wait for the right buying opportunity for AMC and GameStop. It doesn't mean you have to stop buying those things. It just means be mindful of keeping it aside, keeping it on hand, and then when you see a really good opportunity where, technicals line up, or or you see that it's significantly below where it's, where its SMA has been running or something to that extent, where that we're way below where it needs to be and it's been hit hard, and or look at the options chain. Again, I'm not saying buy options. I'm saying watch the chain, because that if you look at the weekly chain, where that open interest is on the call, and you look at the calls and you look at the puts, you add up the calls and the money, you add up the puts and the money. And while this isn't a guaranteed way to figure out where something is going to end, if you're taking a look at that early week, midweek, you can see the direction that it looks like it's going to go, because what they're going to try and do is they're going to minimize the number of calls and puts that are in the money, because they want to make the most amount of money. So the market makers are going to, and again, this is not indicative of everything in the market, but if you just take a look at those options chains for the week and you look at how that spread is set up, you can figure out roughly about where it's going to end. And so if it's trading below that for a while and you see that it's trading below where it looks like it's going to end, that might be a position where you can come in and pick up one or two or a handful of shares. So you've got to look at those as opportunities and hold back some of the liquidity for the opportunistic buying to lower your cost average and to further prepare yourself. And that's what I did today with GameStop, right? Like, GameStop's been trading way below my cost average for a long time now, and I picked up 10 more shares.
I picked up Highcroft and AMC today at the lowest points because I planned Monday that I knew they were going to blow these call options out.
Yep. And I was short puts, so long effective on Highcroft, and those ended in the money. So I'm getting more longs next week because they'll be exercised. So I'm going to have another 400 shares of HYMC in my IRA, and that's just because I was like, I'm going to collect premium to lower my cost average. I'm not playing the options chain anymore for HYMC or AMC or GameStop through the month of May, like everybody else. But I found an opportunity where I could get what I felt was a fair value on those and collect some premium in the process. And at the time that I opened the position, the cost average would have been below where we were trading. So I felt it was a good opportunity. And so now I'm going to have another 400 shares come Monday to hold for HYMC that somebody's got to have to buy back and cover.
So I'm screaming, man, no options May, April 30th. Go to the movie theater in protest of the AMC shitcoin that I filed a full complaint with the SEC on. I can't wait to hear about that coming back. Even if you can't see a movie, just go buy some popcorn or something, or a candy bar, or go get a fountain drink from them. They got that. You can go get the AHA sparkling waters, which is if you don't like sodas.
Yeah. Hey Spence, did you post the link to the report, to the way to report? Because I know you did all the work in finding it, and I know we can all go find it. But if you could post a link to filing the report, that might help get some other people to get engaged in reporting
I can.
what happened.
I gotta go pick up my kid here. She just texted me. She ignored me all week and then texted me. She said, "Dad, I'm coming over this weekend." So I got an hour drive. She's 12 now, so you know, I'm chopped
Oh yeah, the
liver and a
preteen
virgin.
phase.
I'm the chauffeur. That's all I am. So, but you guys, April 30th.
What exactly?
Go ahead, Christy.
Well, I'm paying some attention, but I haven't. So the AMC coin is real, not from us,
No.
not from Adam Aaron.
No, it is a
What do you get out there
scam.
and-
Fraud.
It is a complete fraud.
Hasn't Adam Aaron filed some sort of?
No, there has been no official word from
But
Adam
when
Aaron
it's a
about
shareholder
anything.
fund,
Actually,
he has not.
Look, Jay Brett, Chef Andrew's post up in the nest. It does look like there's a pending case from American Multi-Cinema against AMC, the AMCtoken.com, the AMCtoken.net,
Awesome.
the AMCtoken.org. So
That is amazing. I'm
Okay.
so glad that got enough attention to kick that off, because
It is a
it's a
complete
huge.
fraud. The fact that Yahoo is pushing it, Apollo Global Management has a big stake in Yahoo News. They are going after the community and they're going after Adam Aaron. So I'm glad that's happening. But everybody, the AMC Ape token is a complete fraud. April 30th, go to the movies to buy a ticket, a soda, a popcorn, whatever. Take a selfie and post it and put a hashtag or something talking about AMC ApeCoin fraud protest. We
Also,
Don't get it confused. I think it's just AMC token. Don't get it confused with the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
yeah.
They ape coin themselves, which, I mean, I'm kind of skeptical of NFTs and crypto, but that one at least is legit.
yeah. So I mean, there's a whole. I could go hours and hours on crypto and NFTs, and
Nope.
you know,
I gotta go.
I
pick up my
could
kid.
say. Well, no, I was just saying, I could talk about both sides. I'm just
Yeah.
going to say very quickly that, you know, the whole area is very speculative. Be very careful. Don't overextend yourself into stuff like that. There's a questionable nature on the utility of things like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but as far as being fraudulent, I don't think that they are just outright fraudulent. We'll see if that experiment is successful in a year, 2 years, 5 years, but those are already a very expensive item. And yes, the Bored Ape Yacht Club tokens are not related to the AMC scam token that is being, pushed out there. Somebody brought to everybody's attention. I can't remember who it was that originally had brought it up, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, we need to act on this and stop this fraud immediately. So we all, a bunch of people came up with a lot of really good ideas on how to deal with it, and I think reporting it to the DOJ and tagging them like we did, I mean, that made a difference, and also tagging Adam Aaron. I don't know if they had already done that, but I'm glad that Andrew found that. So I think everybody should probably be retweeting what Andrew posted up there, because that's a big news.
Yeah, it's pinned up top in the frog pond there.
Yep.
Man, if somebody, I gotta go, but this is such a great call. I don't think people are done. If somebody wants to start another call, I'd super highly recommend it. We need to get AMC back on the airways, the movies back on the airways, the fraud token protest back on the airways. No options may. Fuck Ken Griffin. Everyone's going to jail. And we were right. The next step, the next event is MOAS. And everybody who told us it wasn't coming, Gasparino and Kramer, they are so wrong. It's not even funny. Everything we said it was going to happen is happening or has happened. So that's where I got to leave, guys. I got to go shoot over to Santa Fe. Start calling me Alfred. I'm just a valet now. So thanks for coming, guys. Sorry about all my potty mouth language and everything. But as you can see, there's a distinct lack of laser eyes happening in the community lately. So I will not be talking or discussing basically anything about any other stock for the time being. And not that I won't, I'm not going to chastise anybody for doing that or talking SPY or whatever. But the core of what I need to do is be AMC, Hycroft, and GME from now on. So don't send me DMs about hot stocks. I'll fucking block you. Much love. Bye.
Hey, everyone.
All right, YouTube fam, thank you for coming, guys. That's my final word on it. I don't care about other plays. I'm worried about AMC, GME, and Hycroft. I personally am not going to play Bloodbath and Beyond, although I do think it is a factor since Ryan Cohen's involved in it. That's the basket theory. One squeeze squeezes them all. And you guys stay safe and have a good weekend. Go to the movies. Froggy Stonks out.